Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames. Today we're playing some more Pauper. This is Elves Spy combo. I'm not really a combo player, certainly not a Spy or Elves player, but Teasdale, another YouTuber who does Pauper content, you should check him out if you have not. But he sent me this list. It's a list he's been working on for a little while and thinks that it's pretty good, but wanted some extra eyes on it. And so I figured I would give it a try. While I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the two decks in their original states, I'm always a fan of innovation, so I'm happy to help try to make this a real thing. If you're not familiar with Elves or Spy combo, congratulations. But basically, we're going to be playing a whole bunch of Elves that tap for mana. Quirion Ranger, Priest of Titania, taps for a bunch more. Sylvan Ranger is an interesting one here. I'm not 100% sure about it, but it is an elf for 2 mana that tutors up one of our lands. We're only playing 6 lands in the deck, as a lot of the newer 5 or 6 land spy combo decks are doing. But we have land grants, Saga Wildlings, and Sylvan Ranger, and Generous Ents to find them. We have Timberwatch Elf as a payoff for Elves, Nyxborn Hydra as a payoff for our mana, Lead the Stampede and Winding Way to just draw us a bunch of cards, and then we get into our combo, which is basically just 4 spies. We only have 6 lands in our deck, so as soon as we've gotten rid of all of those, we can mill ourselves for our entire deck, and we just play a 1 of Dread Return and a 1 of Lotleth Giant to be able to reanimate and ping our opponent for a bunch of damage. But we don't actually have to do that if we can just win through elf shenanigans. In our sideboard, we have Mesmeric Fiends. We have an extra swamp. If we bring in those fiends, we'll want Acorn Harvest if we think we need to lean a little bit more on the combo side, maybe against an opponent with Krark Clan Shaman or something like that. We can do that. Some life gain, V2 Ghazi Inspectors, Masked Vandals, and Healers of the Glade. So I'm interested to see how this works, so let's take it for a league and see if we can combo off. All right, we do only have 6 lands in the deck, and of course, 4 land grants that we can use with no other mana. But otherwise, we're going to have to mulligan, so definitely something to think about. This hand looks pretty solid, though. We have a forest, we have 2 priests, Generous Ent, Fyndhorn Elves, Saga Wildling. A lot of mana, maybe a little too much, but we're going to keep this one for sure. So I think we're playing Forest Elves turn 1, turn 2, Wildling for a land, play a Priest of Titania. I think we're getting rid of a priest. If the other one dies, then we're stuck with like 4 mana, but I don't know. I think it seems okay. Looks like we're against red burn in some way. Land grant's not terrible. Of course, we're going to show them what we have. I can wait a turn to do that, though. I don't need to do it right here, because if I draw a land, I'll just play it. So we'll just play a Fyndhorn Elves and pass. They have a Thermo Alchemist, okay. Swing for 1. We do just draw a forest. It means I can play Priest and Quirion Ranger. We are just susceptible to removal, but that's kind of going to be the case anyway. And if these do survive, we can just start like putting down Ents and Wildlings. So I don't think I need to play the land grant again. I can also use the Quirion Ranger an extra time here, but I don't think I need to. Like to use the Fyndhorn Elves, but I have to bounce a forest, and all I get out of that is like a Lay of the Land, so I don't think I need to do that. Ping us with the Alchemist. Swing for 1, which we'll take. Chain Lightning the Priest. Ping us again. And Lightning Bolt the Quirion Ranger. That's annoying. If we had the Ranger, we could play the Wildling this turn. Now we're only going to have 4 mana. We can play it next turn, though. Another Generous Ent. So this can be our last 3 forests, which I guess is the reason to use these now, is so that we don't draw any more forests. I almost want to save a Generous Ent, because it's not going to die to bolts, whereas the Wildling does. But it takes an extra mana to get there, so we can't play it next turn. We have to wait 2 more turns, which might be a lot, especially if they know we're relying on this Elves. I guess I don't actually have to reveal our hand with this land grant, because we just have the 2 mana for it, though. Forest, play that, and I guess we'll just pass. If we do also just top deck the Spy, we have ways to get all of our lands out, but we'd only have 2 creatures for the Dread Return. They're going to Ren's Resolve. They miss a Thermo Alchemist trigger. Get a Flame Breather and a Furnace. That's fine, I think. Epicure. They'll swing. We're going to cycle an Ent. I think I could cycle the other one. I'm just playing this Wildling this turn. I almost want to keep the other Ent, though. I don't need to cycle it yet, and it's possible I'll be able to cast it. I'll keep it. Fyndhorn Elves. If I play that this turn, then I can play the Ent, but I would prefer to have a 3/3 that gains me life, so that I just have a blocker. It does die to a bolt, but if they don't have the bolt, it blocks, and it just gains us a little bit. Play their Flame Breather. Ping, and they have a Galvanic Blast. Ping again. We're down to 11. Going to be at 9 after the Epicures. We draw another Generous Ant. So I guess we should have cycled the 1. But that's... Who knows? We wouldn't have known we were going to draw that. Go to Forest, play an Elves, and we'll pass. Probably dead here. We also don't play Well-Wishers. So we have probably a worse matchup game 1 against them. We also don't have Well-Wishers in the sideboard, which is interesting. Galvanic Blast. Gonna put us to 2. And a Tomb Raider's gonna finish us off. So we get Healers and Vitu-Ghazi Inspectors. This is one where it feels like going for the combo would be better because they just have ways to kill our guys. But we also didn't get any card draw there. We were on the draw. I think we'll cut the Elves of Deep Shadow because they ping us, and that seems bad. And the Rangers seem rough, so we'll cut those. Keep. We have a land, but we have no 1-drop, so that's bad. Now we don't have a land. Still don't have a land. But on 5, if we draw a land, then we're in business. It seems bad. Let's just go down. And okay. I guess we're at 3. We have a land. Look at that. 3 cards to win here. Forest, Land Grant. I think we just go for the combo, I guess. So we just want to draw as many lands as possible. Cycle the Ent. We draw Forest. Let's just cast a Land Grant. Problem is, even if we get the Spy after all of our lands, we're not going to have 3 creatures to unearth. The Dread Return. Flashback, rather. Lead the Stampede is a pretty good draw. Let's see what we get here. We get 3 guys. Not terrible. We hit a Forest, but it doesn't get milled from this guy. They're put on the bottom. Friends Resolve. Mountain and a Tomb Raider. Smack for 4. Winding Way. I guess that seems better than the Timberwatch Elf, because it can set up a little bit. Got 4 creatures, including Spies and our Giant, which we did not want. So this is going swimmingly. Let's play a Healer. And they have a Synth into a Chain Lightning to the face. Another Percussionist. Swing with the team. We'll block a Percussionist. We go to 7. They turn up a Flame Breather. We're going to cycle a Generous Ent. Not really sure what we can draw here. I guess like a Winding Way into more life gain would be decent. Another Healer and a Vitu-Ghazi dude. Just a Healer is fine, I guess. I think we're going to bestow this Hydra on this guy for 2. Make it a 3/4. Doesn't die to a bolt. Blocks nicely. And then also play a Healer. Pass. The fact that we got this 1 of Giant is really rough, because even if we find our swamp, we can mill ourselves, but we don't have a Giant to reanimate. And I don't think there's any way to get it into our graveyard from hand. They play the Flame Breather. They cast into the Fire, 1 damage on each, but that's going to trigger the Flame Breather twice, and then they might have like a bolt. No, they just attack with this guy. I mean, we'll block here. They turn up a bolt, they turn up a bolt, but it's a Thermo Alchemist. Timberwatch Elf, that's no good. We'll play that and pass. They crack Synth, find a mountain. So it looks like they don't have any way to kill us this turn. They play the Alchemist. Quirion Ranger doesn't do a lot here either. We'll play a Timberwatch Elf. Play a Quirion Ranger. Attack with the Healer. Pump it. Untap the Timberwatch and pump it again. To hit for 9. I guess if they top deck nothing, we have a shot here. Because we can pump plus 12 on this guy, but they can block. But like maybe we draw Winding Way into some more Elves, and they top deck nothing. That's a Synth. That's gonna put us to 1 with the Alchemist, and they get a Chain Lightning. All right, we're dead. Let's try this again. No lands. Otherwise, looks pretty good. Okay, this one seems fine. Looks like we might be leaning heavier on the Elf side of things. I might just get rid of the Spy. Alright, let's just lead on Fyndhorn Elves. And they are also playing Elves. I'm going to assume it's traditional Elves. We just draw our Spy again. I guess we want to go fast then. So if I play Quirion Ranger, I can untap, bounce this, play it again, and I could just get down our Timberwatch right away. And this pumps for all the Elves on the entire field, so that seems pretty good. They have a Fyndhorn, a Quirion Ranger, and another Quirion Ranger. We get a Winding Way. I'm gonna cycle this Ent for a Forest. Winding Way, get 4 creatures, and just attack with this Quirion Ranger, which we can pump a ton. They're going to take it, so I can make it 15 damage right now, which means if we ever find a Hydra, we can give it trample and kind of just win. We don't have a lot else going for us. I think that's what we do. I could just pump once because I do have to bounce a land if I want to do this, but I think it's okay. So let's just hit for 15 and pass. They tap a bunch and just play a Generous Ent. Okay. Windhorn Elves. So I can make both of these lethal, so they just have to double block, which is kind of nice. So let's just play a Mystic, play another Ranger, and then attack. They're going to block them both. I'll save the Ranger. I will untap and save the Windhorn Elves, and then I'll pass. I guess I could have actually just bounced this forest for an extra elf, which would be an extra attacker, so that would have been better. But it seems like in an elf mirror match, going first is pretty good. I think we're going to want Mesmeric Fiends here. And Mask Vandals are probably bad. Part of me says it might be fine because they do play Hydras just like us. I assume if we're bringing in the Fiends, we want to take out a forest for a swamp. And the combo is good and important here. So, but we don't need to rush to it. So I think still 6 lands is fine. Because I think he also mentioned mono red, I might have actually wanted to go down to 5 lands, which I did not think about. So I think maybe just like the Sylvan Rangers can go. And I don't know, one of these guys. Okay, this is not a very fast start, but we do just start with Mesmeric Fiend, 2 of our lands, Winding Way, but we have our Lotleth Giant in hand, and we're going to be really slow. I'm going to give it a try. It feels probably like not a great idea, but especially because of the Giant. They don't have a 1-drop either. That's interesting. Probably cycle a Generous Ent. We're going to just use the Wildling for our Swamp. Pass. We just get another Timberwatch Elf. Good later, but not what we want right now. They don't even have a Generous Ent. Crashing Drawbridge. Okay, that's scary. Another Wildling. I think I'm just playing out a Fiend. Trying to slow them down. What a weird game. Masked Vandal, not worried about it. Well-Wisher to Glamour. What do we have that they want to Glamour? Hydra, I guess? Yeah, that's fair. No, Avenging Hunter. Well-Wisher, I think we can win past. I think they actually don't have a very good start. I think we just take this Winding Way. They just want to start gaining some life. I'm not worried about that. It's going to make it harder to combo, but as is having the Lotleth Giant in our hand. So, not super worried. Oh, they also just drew a forest, so we know these are their last 3 cards. I guess Well-Wisher with us both having elves is kind of annoying. Another Timberwatch, still not what I want. I could just throw out a Timberwatch elf. I think I probably should Winding Way, though. Try to find some ramp. Yeah, I think we need some ramp. So let's get some creatures here. We hit a Quirion Ranger. That's not really ramp. Land Grant and a forest and a Winding Way. Alright, well, we'll play this and we'll pass. They're going to gain a couple on the end step. Here's a Quirion Ranger. Well-Wisher, untap it right away. Pass. We get to lead the Stampede. I'm going to Roost Seek. I guess we get our Swamp, just because we can get the forest off a Generous Ent. I think I'm just going to play a Timberwatch Elf. Get one of them down so I can start attacking a little bit, as opposed to lead the Stampede. I don't really know what to do here. Timberwatch Elves are going to make it hard for them to play the Hunter, though, without a lot of fodder, which I guess they need some more mana for anyway. They top deck a lead the Stampede. That's pretty good. Get way luckier than our Winding Way. Mystic, Priest, another Hunter, a Well-Wisher, another Ranger. We got to lead the Stampede. Finally hit some stuff. We haven't played a land, so let's Wildling for our forest. Our last one. Play that. Play a Mystic. And attack. Keep their life total down-ish. But I'm not going to return any lands yet. So I can Balustrade Spy us, but with the giant in hand, we're not going to be able to overcome, I don't believe. Cycle an Ent. I guess if I get like a Priest of Titania, if I get enough mana on the field to play Spy and Giant in the same turn, I could do it. There's a Priest for them, though. Also, Llanowar Elves, Drawbridge for haste, Hunters. I have a Nyxborn Hydra to get trample, but they have the Deglamor, so I'm not going to be able to actually trample over. I tutor up a forest. Play another hunter. Power one of them up. Untap the priest. And pass. This is ridiculous. We only have one of each of these, and we're drawing them. So they have Deglamor, so using this is kind of irrelevant. It forces them to use it, but that doesn't really matter. 6 mana. I could also like play out the giant, and then on a following turn, I could spy, but now that I've drawn the Dread Return, no, I guess that could work. No, I have to lose the giant, and then Dread Return it on the same turn, but that's triple black. That seems risky, or just very hard to do. Let's just play out an Elf, Timberwatch, Quarian Ranger, and I guess I can attack with all 3 of these. So we can pump them all up. So they gotta lose 3 guys. They have a ton of mana, and they do have the initiative with some hunters. But the fact that we have the Timberwatch Elf is actually really good. They're just gonna take it. I guess they can gain as much life as we can ping for twice. So they're letting us take the initiative, which I guess doesn't give us anything on the first. We might as well hit for a bunch, because we haven't used Aquarian Ranger, so we want to anyway. So we'll add 10. They're going to Well-Wisher. Then I will untap this guy, bounce a forest, and add 10. I could do it again, but if I don't, I can untap this Mystic, and I can play another Timberwatch Elf. Yeah, I think that's fine. We'll take the initiative. We don't have a land to get. We'll play this, tap, untap this Mystic, play a Timberwatch Elf, and then pass. But we still can untap this twice and block. So we have 2 giant blockers right now. They have a Lead the Stampede off the top. That's pretty good. They're drawn really well. Good for them. They get mostly some mana. Another Quarian Ranger is not nothing. It adds to their life gain. They play Priest. They play Elves. Play Ranger. They play Masked Vandal. Crashing Drawbridge. They can attack with everything. Quarian Ranger untap the Priest. So they got 2 forests and a Deglamor in hand. They done math, I haven't, because they're going to trap me here. But if I block here and here, they attack with a Well-Wisher, so I can block, and I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think they just know that we're winning, I think. So I can block the Well-Wisher, which I want to die. And then I can block these 2. And then I can untap the Timberwatch Elf that doesn't have Summoning Sickness. Maybe they didn't realize we could do this, but they're playing a deck that can also do this, so I feel like they should. We're going to pump this guy by 15, and then we're going to activate again on this guy, and pump this guy by 15. Then we take like 9, and then get trapped for 14, but yeah, then we just attack back for 1 million, and we got him. Alright, this hand looks solid. We're on the draw, but we have land Mystic into Titania. Could be a little slow, especially if they shoot our Mystic, but Faeries isn't going to really kill them, but it could have counter spells. Land Grant's pretty good. I don't really want to get that countered, so I actually think I will just do it now, but it shows off what we're doing, but whatever. I'm trying to think. I believe Elves is either like a terrible matchup or an amazing matchup for Faeries. I think it's usually good against Faeries because we have reach, we have speed, but our version doesn't have reach except for the Nyxborn Hydra. It doesn't have speed. Oh, but if they only have 1 land, we're in a really good spot. Okay, so we're in a pretty good spot here. I mean, even just putting down a Nyxborn Hydra here isn't terrible. A little awkward because if I put down a Priest, I actually don't have anything else. But Priest is going to be pretty good, so we'll just do that. I'm not going to put down a 0 mana Hydra. I would put down like a 1/2 Hydra to block, but 0/1 is pretty useless, so I'll just pass. But if they don't draw a land, we're going to win anyway, I believe. They might have a Ninja, though. They do swing for 2, and they do have that Ninja, and they pass. All right, so start with another Priest. Stats for 3. Gonna Winding Way, because if I whiff or just don't get anything I want to cast this turn, I can just do a Hydra for 1. We do get 2 things, and I haven't played a land yet this turn, so I can actually just play Sylvan Ranger, tutor up another Forest, play that, and play an Elves of Deep Shadow. Alright, and the next turn we have infinite mana. But they do get an island. They bind the monster on a Priest. Okay. Relevant. And Fairy Seer. Not even attacking first is interesting. I guess they want to set up the draw, but they're not going to have mana for it. Not even going to attack on the ground. They should be happy to make that trade, I think. We're going to take one. We have another Winding Way. Pretty sure I'll just start with a Winding Way, because any creatures we get is going to make this priest even better. We get a Wildling, so let's Roost Seek for a forest. Play that. Play a Fyndhorn Elves. This is tapping for 6. So, what? I can just bestow onto this Sylvan Ranger for like 1 million for 6, and I can just start attacking with a 7/7, I think. I could leave it back, but I think this is just going to win the game in a couple of turns. Even if they have a snap, they have to use it twice. If they have a Bind the Monster, then they take 7 more, and then I just hit them with another Hydra. If they swing with both, or both all of it, I guess we'll block here. I don't even think I need to, but we'll reduce the cards they can draw. Hacker the Seer. Seer again. Let's Roost Seek. Pull out a forest, play it, play an Elves, and I think we can just leave up Spell Pierce mana. Actually, we'll do this on a different guy. So we'll just put this on the Elves of Deep Shadow and leave up Spell Pierce mana because this is not a creature on the stack, so they could Spell Pierce it. And then we can attack with 2 of these. Alright, so against Fae, I mean, these Vitu-Ghazi guys have reach, don't they? They do. So we'll bring those in and maybe some Fiends. I don't even think we need those. We're kind of good either way, I think. Take out 2 Rangers. Feels like the combo's kind of worse because they could just have a counterspell. But I guess if I just go, if I just do it when they're tapped out, could be fine still. Let's leave it in. This hand looks solid. Start with a Seer. Bottom both. We get our Elves down. And I don't want to get this countered, so I think I'm going to land grant again. I just hate revealing my hand, but what are you going to do? It's because I'm a mid-range control player and not a combo player. Combo, you don't even care if they know what you're doing because the deck usually signifies what you're doing. But control and mid-range, you want to keep that stuff secret. They got a big ninja here. Tapping out is aggressive, but I guess they know our hand is not great. Another land grant. I might just play a Nyxborn Hydra on 2 to block this. If they like snap, it's not a big deal. We don't have a lot else going on. Like, am I gonna Winding Way? Maybe get a 1-drop? No, that doesn't seem necessary. Let's land grant again and just cast this Hydra. They have a Harrier Strix, okay. That'll tap down the Hydra. And a Gut Shot, that's pretty annoying. Kind of rude, honestly. They're gonna pass. We got a Priest of Titania. I guess we just try that. They can't spell stutter it, but of course they could just counterspell. But if I go for a Winding Way and they let it resolve, and then I can't play a 1-drop because they could spell stutter that. There's a Faeries here. They have an Unable to Scream, which only made it bigger, but it can't block flying. So I will take this Strix damage. They have 2 mana left. Now they can spell stutter a Winding Way. I think I'm just going to play this Spy for value as a blocker. Guess I'll mill a bunch. We milled 26 cards, including our giant. We have 23 creatures in our graveyard. And I didn't bring my second swamp in, so I can't cast this Dread Return from my hand. Okay. This deck definitely needs some way to discard a card. At least one. I was looking on not Gatherer, is this 2012? I was looking on Scryfall, and there's like a Spell Shaper that looks good. Generous Ant. I guess, and then we hit a forest. So we only have 1 forest left. So I guess I cycle the Generous Ant, and then I Winding Way. And if they spell stutter it, I Winding Way again. They do. That's what I was expecting. Let's hope they don't have the second one, though. Creature. Hydra and Aquarian Ranger. This can only bounce forests, so that doesn't even give us a way to double Dread Return. Or rather, double black mana for Dread Return. I know we have... Let's pop out this graveyard. We have 1 Elves of Deep Shadow, 2... I believe there's 1 Elves of Deep Shadow left in the deck. So that's good to know. They're attacking with the whole crew. We're going to block the Spell Stutter, because that's the most annoying. They clearly have a Ninja here. Or a Humbling Elder, fair enough. They just want to get in for a little bit of damage. Not sure that's quite useful enough for it, but okay. And a Fairy Miscreant, tapped out. Lead the Stampede, or I could go with a Nyxborn Hydra bestowed on this other Nyxborn to block, or I could just play Aquarian Ranger and then bestow on that. That's probably better. Yeah, for more blockers. So I can attack for 2 here, because then I have this guy, and I will untap the Spy, bounce this Forest, bestow onto this Quarian Ranger for 3. I have another reach blocker, and then we'll pass. We get a Wildling, which is another blocker. I guess we could start going on the offensive at some point. So let's just try casting that. We do only have 13 cards in our deck, so we need to be a little worried about milling out, but not a ton. They did get a counterspell for it, so I could attack with a 4/4. No, I'll attack with a Spy. If they want to trade 2 Faeries for the Spy, that's fine. I guess if they wanted to trade like 3 of these guys for this Ranger, that'd be fine too. They are willing to trade 2 of these guys, so we'll pass. Loot with the Strix, get rid of an island. Another Wildling. I think I'm just gonna lead the Stampede this time. And that worked. Here's 5 new cards. Reveal them all. And why is this Elvish Mystic not lit up? Can I not cast it? No, I can. Okay. I'll play that. No reason to cycle any of these. And I think we'll just pass. I think we're just going Stompy. Just start playing big guys. And we can get there eventually. They have another Miscreant. I realized I probably should have killed this Miscreant in case they did draw another one of those instead of the Seer, but oh well. And an One Mind. Now I'm really regretting that. They're tapping out, though. Maybe they have an island, but still tapping to 1 seems ill-advised. Another Quarian Ranger. So I can 6, 7, 8. I can just make a big Hydra guy. I think that's what we do. Untap this. Play it again. We're going to bestow it on this Hydra they've already used a removal spell on, so if they have like the Bind the Monster, first of all, it's pathetic that they have to do it again, but also I guess it'll kill them. And now we'll attack with both of these guys. And they just take it, and I'll pass. They have a Fairy Seer. They're going to attack with everybody. I'm going to untap this Hydra. And if they have like a snap for it, then I just have another Hydra behind it. We would just block the Ninja since they were trying to draw the top card of their deck. They could have another Ninja for a Miscreant or something. They have it for a Strix, okay. Feels like the Strix isn't super relevant, but they're going to draw their card. And I'm just going to go to combat. They have to have like 2 snaps to even survive here. So we'll see if they got that. I guess a snap and like a Brine Bear or Humbling Elder would do it. There's the snap. And there's the second snap. All right. They got me good. They don't block. Here's an Elf. Here's a Quarian Ranger. Here's a Quarian Ranger. And we'll pass. They have the Strix. I guess we knew about that one. They can tap down the Hydra. Got another Hydra to worry about, though. They loot with the Strix. Bin an island. And we get there. All right. We played against Kid Renin the other day, playing Black Sack, which is a bad matchup into White Weenie, which is what they play. But now I'm playing Elves, which is not usually where I think I'm going to be at. But this is a pretty good matchup for Elves, since White Weenie is really susceptible to us. So we might have a shot here. Playing total opposite of what I usually play. Draw another Forest, honestly, isn't bad. We're just going to start with a Mystic. Next turn we can get down Priest and Quarian Ranger. They've been a Battle Screech. We get a Wildling. So I'm just going to play Priest and a Ranger. I could untap and play the Seek, but then I lose a land from the battlefield, so I don't think that's necessary. They have a Grange. Swing for 3. We'll take it. And, well, I think we'll just start with a Roost Seek for a Forest. Play that. Play a Priest. Tap Priest to play a Lead the Stampede. For all these guys. Do I even want to show them the Spy? I guess I don't have a lot else going on, except for 1 Timberwatch, which they might be able to kill, so sure. We won't waste value here. Then I'll play a Quarian Ranger. I'll play an Elves. I will Quarian Ranger the Priest. Tap it for 6. Play an Elves. Play a Timberwatch Elf. And then I will Quarian Ranger the Priest once more. Tap for 1,000,000, and I'll play this Sagu Wildling. And we don't even need the Spy combo, because this is just kind of an insane start from a deck like this. They might have a Thraben Charm for the Timberwatch, and they do. Can't do anything about that. But we have a ton of mana, and we have a 3/3 flyer. They have a Squadron Hawk, and they can flashback their Battle Screech. They could still totally get us if we don't draw anything, since we don't have a lot but mana here. And Horn Elves isn't great. And we still have 3 lands left in our deck, but I think I'm just going to cast a Spy. So tap this Priest, tap Elves. We're going to Spy. If we get lucky, we could just still get enough guys in our grave, but we mill 2. That's not quite what we wanted. Okay. Well, I'm going to attack for... we really don't need... I guess... We really don't need this Priest. Like, if we draw Nyxborn Hydra, we're already in a good spot. Yeah, we'll just attack with these 5. Well, this 5 damage. They could pick off a couple Elves, but I assume they'll just take it, and we'll pass. Lunarch Veteran. Another Squawk. So we have 4 Nyxborns that are good draws. That might be it. They swing with the Informant. Block with a Spy, but I don't think I need to. I think I'll just take 3. I want to take 3. They have all 1/1s back. No, they also have an Inspector. I kind of want flyers for blocks, if nothing else. I guess we'll take 3. Might not be the smartest thing, but... Of course, any of our card draws, good draws. Quarian Ranger. Not really the best, but we'll play it. And I guess we'll just attack with our flyers now. We can just untap them as needed. Down to 11. They have a Grange for a Hawk. Another Battle Screech. Still have a lot of things that win us the game. Nyxborn Hydra. Card draw into a Nyxborn Hydra. They're going to swing with the Informant. I guess this time I can just block with a couple of these guys. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana times a million. Sure. We'll block here. A Turn Timber Ranger would be good. Timberwatch Elf. I always get those names confused. Turn Timber Ranger is the... You know the one. It's an ally. It is good, but it's not as good because if they have another way to kill it, I don't have a way to deal with that. So we have to survive through Summoning Sickness. And also we don't have Trample, so it still doesn't win us the game. Plus they have Prismatic Strands mana up now, and they just have a Guardian's Pledge, it looks like. So we're probably just dead here. Yeah, because we can block this, and then these. And then if they have a Guardian's Pledge, we just take 18. Yep. Well, I guess we just drew really poorly. It was a pretty good start, and we just petered out. My favorite thing. In general, I don't think Fiends are amazing against White Weenie, but here it takes the Prismatic Strands and the Guardian's Pledge we care about, or Thraben Charm, and it can also just take any sideboard cards they can bring in. I think we're going to bring them in. I guess maybe we go down a land to try to combo faster. We take out the Rangers. I don't know. I have no idea how a deck like this works, but we're giving it a try. Trying to figure it out. 2 lands, no 1-drop, but we have a Priest. I guess we'll keep it. We also have a billion card draw spells. Not amazing. Ideally, they're going to have to mulligan to some sideboard cards, though. They already are on 6. They have an Inspector. Generous End. So do I just play the Priest, even though it only gives me 1 mana here, or do I just Winding Way? Part of me tells me I think I should Winding Way, but also if I just draw more than a couple guys, they kind of go to waste. So, I don't know. We'll start with the Priest. Doesn't die right away, which is nice. Rafine's Informant for a Battle Screech. They attack for 1. Sagu Wildling. So I'll just start with a Generous Ent. Cycle for a Forest. Play that. And Winding Way. Creatures get 4. I guess we'll just play a Fyndhorn Elves and pass. They're going to attack for 4, so no flashback on Battle Screech. Leave up their mana. Another Priest of Titania. We only have 5 lands in the deck because we took 1 out, so we're pretty close to comboing. We just find a Spy. So I think we're going to Roost Seek for a Swamp. I'm going to start with a Fiend to see what they got going on, I guess. Holy Light, that's one of the ones I was worried about, but they also have a Thraben Charm. Destroy Evil Militia Bugler. So they got a lot of interaction. If I take Thraben Charm, they can't do anything here, but then they can just untap and Holy Light us, and that's pretty bad. So if I take Holy Light, they at least have to use the Thraben Charm on this. That seems fine to me. So Destroy Evil also destroys an enchantment, so that also just gets our Nyxborn Hydra. So we have 4 mana here. So I can play a Priest of Titania, but that just gets Holy Lighted if they want to. So I don't think we're going to do that yet. I think I'm just going to lead the Stampede. Another Mesmeric Fiend. If we could play that, that'd be pretty nice. But we can't. Dread Return goes on the bottom. And I already played a land, so I could play a Fyndhorn Elves. Just dies if they want to go for that. Or I could just tutor up my last land. Then I'll have to discard. Although this Nyxborn Hydra doesn't look great right now. Let's just tutor up our land. I guess I could discard the land if I don't need it. Forest, but we might want it if they blow up all our creatures. See what they do at the end step here. They crack a clue. So, next turn, I think we'll get rid of this Fyndhorn Elves. Maybe I should have kept it because it's just cheap. Or if they wipe our board, but then we want to but then we're able to combo. I don't know. They got an Eagles of the North off the top, so they're just cycling that for a Grange. Grow the Informant. Gonna attack for 5. That's fine. And leave up their interaction. Oh, I guess Thraben Charm also just blows up our graveyard, so we can't really go for the combo, right? Good to know. Okay, in that case, if I play another Mesmeric Fiend, actually, we can just take it, though. Play our Forest. I guess I'm just going to play another Mesmeric Fiend. So they're going to Thraben Charm this one in response, I assume. Then I can just take the Holy Light back. That's fine by me. We'll just take it again. Also have Plains in hand. And now I'm going to hope they don't have a way to get rid of this then. So I'll play Timberwatch Elf. And then we'll tap this for 3 and I'll lead the Stampede. Another Mesmeric. And we get a Fyndhorn Elves. I guess we'll play a Fyndhorn Elves. It does die to this stuff. We're going to discard it anyway. And, you know, there's a Bugler. That's decent. Them tapping low. We are taking a lot of damage here, but we can start putting out Generous Sense and stuff, which die to destroy evil, but I think we'll be okay. They reveal Squadron Hawk. Alright. Tutor up some more. I guess I can also Mesmeric Fiend take the Destroy Evil if I want. Triple Squawk. Flashback a Battle Screech. And attack for 4. Oh, they don't have mana up. If I could just make a Nyxborn Hydra big enough to kill them. But we only have... This only taps for 4 right now, so that seems unlikely. So let's play... I play a Priest, then a Priest. This will tap for 6, which is 1 Generous Ent, but then they have a Destroy Evil still. Let's play 1 Priest. So I need to get a Fiend down to take the Destroy Evil. Hope they don't draw another one. Now they just have a bunch of Squawks, a Plains, and then tap this for Generous Ent, and then leave this up. If they have a way to kill this, they still can't get in for lethal. I think it'll be fine. We'll play the Priest. Because if these all survive, then next turn we should be able to Nyxborn for lethal. But if they don't, you know, maybe they get the right card right away. There's a Squawk. There's another. And there's another. Alright, so we should be able to get him with the Nyxborn. Bestow it onto this Generous Ent. Oh, it's only making 18 mana. I thought it was making a lot more than that. 18, 24... On the Ent, it's 29. How much toughness do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They're at a virtual 34. This is 24, 29. This should be Exacxies then, I guess? Well, we're going for it. They're going to have to block with a bunch of stuff either way. But we'll attack with it. It's 28 power. And we can make it 34 with this, which I believe I counted to be enough. All right, we got there. Let's do that again, I guess. Maybe we should be abandoning the combo potential entirely, but if we just know they don't have a Thraben Charm, then that's fine. I don't know. Well, we'll try it again like that. 1 land, but we got the Sagu. I guess it's okay. I feel like we have the Dread Return every single game in hand. We draw another Forest. Let's just start with an Elves. Play an Informant, pitch a Plains. That's good for us. Another Elves. I was going to lead the Stampede, but I could double Elves here. I guess it's pretty bad if they have a Holy Light. But if they don't, it's not nothing. Sure, let's go for it. Oh, I tapped wrong. No, I didn't, because I needed 3 green. I was going to also do the Sagu Wildling, but I guess I can't do that because these guys tap for black, so that's a little annoying. They attack here. I guess we take it. Just 3 damage. Then they core Skyfisher. Pick up the Inspector. Play it again. We draw Mystic. I'm going to tap for 3 and lead the Stampede. We do get a Mesmeric Fiend. So I'm going to Sagu Wildling for a Swamp in case they kill our Elves. And I'm going to Mesmeric Fiend. Take a card from their hand. Thraben's Charm or Guardian's Pledge. Thraben Charm can kill this guy. Guardian's Pledge could deal us... They're already dealing us 5, 11. It could put us to 3. But the Thraben Charm kills this Hydra. We're going to go for the Charm. That's my gut. I guess if we go to 3, it's pretty bad because, you know, these guys are dealing us damage and stuff. So maybe not great. But I guess we're taking damage. They don't use it here, so that's something, I guess. There's another Wildling. I can't spy this turn. I could cast the spy, but... Alright, we're going to Roost Seek for a forest. And I'll play this Mystic. I think I am just going to spy, actually. Either that or I could just play like a Hydra as a 2-3. No, I think we got a spy. And just hope we hit enough, because we have 1 land left. If we hit enough and survive, then we could just Dread Return next turn. We mill down to 11 cards, so that's definitely going to be good enough, assuming we hit the Giant, which we did. So now we just need to survive the turn, not lose our not lose our Fiend, because that gives him a Thraben Charm, and keep one of our Elves alive, our Elves of Deep Shadow, for the extra black mana. They crack a clue. They do have the Plains, so they can still Guardian's Pledge here. Swing with the team. We're going to block here, and this would only be 6 damage. So I guess we actually just block here. Alright. They Guardian's Pledge, we go to 2, and then 1 off of an Elves. So they don't do it. I guess they gotta just bluff that they have another Thraben Charm. No, they have a Core Skyfisher. Of course they don't know we have the Dread Return in hand, but we do. So they play an Inspector, and we're just gonna Dread Return the Giant. Where's it at? There it is. Lotleth Giant. Dread Return, they don't have a Prismatic Strands, so we deal them 28 damage. Alright, this one's interesting because we don't have a forest, but we do have Generous Sense. We have 4 ways to get it, and we once again have a Dread Return in our opener. It's not amazing, but just the fact that we have ways to fetch out a bunch of our lands seems okay. And we're on the play. They mulligan to 6. We're going to start with a Swamp and then pivot into Elves, and that'll get them real good. Okay, back to Mono Red is kind of annoying, to be honest. We'll get a Forest, Land Grant. I mean, that's 5 of our 6 lands right there. Forest, play an Elves. I can just wait on the Land Grant. Attack with the Epicure. Jagged Barrens. Okay, so it is Rakdos then. Cycle the Generous Ent for another Forest. Another Timberwatch Elf. Okay. So if you draw the Dread Return, you have to have an Elves of Deep Shadow. Otherwise, there's no way to do this in game 1, because we don't have 2 swamps. So I'm not loving that. If they can't kill the Timberwatch Elf here, though, we have, you know, the ability to keep our guys alive pretty nicely. They do have the Fiery Temper, so it looks like it's not too hard for them. But I can just get down. Oh, they have a Bajuga Bog. That's kind of annoying. I guess it's only minorly annoying. We have plenty of creatures in the deck, and we weren't actually reanimating any of those, so... We draw a forest, so we actually only have 1 land left, which I guess we're going to just Land Grant now because I'm not going to want to draw it. That would just be horrendous. But we're also going to play this Wildling. Oh, we have 2 forests left. I was getting confused. Whatever. Still didn't want to draw one of them at this point. They have a Grab the Prize with another Fiery Temper. Probably just picking off the Wildling. Attack for 1. So we're at 16. They don't have a land, though. We get a Priest of Titania. I mean... This is looking rough right now, but I guess if they don't have a way to remove these, we have a bunch of mana and a Timberwatch Elf, potentially. And this Dread Return that's pretty much useless. Lightning Bolt, Hydra off the top would be good. Vampire's Kiss, and attack for 1. We get another Timberwatch Elf. We'll attack for 2. They have a Chain Lightning and a Vampire's Kiss. We get a Quirion Ranger. We'll untap the Fyndhorn Elves and block just to... finally stop this, I guess. They plot a Highway Robbery, play a Carnarium, pick up the Bog, and another Kiss. We do get the Hydra. I can make it for 5, but that's not going to be attacking quickly enough. So I can just make the Hydra for +7. So this is a 3-turn clock. Seems too slow. But maybe if I top deck another Hydra, we can kill him next turn, if we're not already dead. They have the Highway Robbery, discard a Swamp, Blood Token to discard a Kitchen Imp, and I grab the prize with the Snacker, although the Snacker doesn't come back yet. They have the Bajuka Bog again, which is irrelevant at the moment. I need to top deck another Hydra, and I can win. Land Grant is not going to do it. Does get our last land. I guess we'll attack for 9 on the off chance that they can't deal us 4 damage. We'll untap this guy, play a Forest, Land Grant, and pass. They pitch a mountain with a blood. They got a Faithless Looting. That's going to dig them a lot. Alms of the Vein and a Kitchen Imp is going to do it right there. 3 more damage, and then we can't block both Kitchen Imps. So we drew just terribly there. I guess we get some life gain with these guys. Take out a forest. Take out the Rangers. I am just feeling like there should maybe be 2 swamps already in here. I know that so much of it's green, but there have been multiple times I've been wanting 2 black. And I guess because of that, we can take out the Elves, who also just ping us. Elves of Deep Shadow. No lands. 1 land, but we have a Generous Ent. We have our Lotleth Giant and our Dread Return, but it is a mulligan, so we can get rid of one of them. But then this hand isn't very good anyway, so let's mulligan again. This hand's better, I guess. I think we have to get rid of a Lead the Stampede. I think we got to get rid of this healer, too. We just need to, like, lead the Stampede into the healers. But in case they just kill this, I kind of want to have, like, more ramp. And they do. Chain Lightning it. Priest of Titania, I mean, that's more of a lightning rod, but we'll play it. Jagged Barrens. And an Epicure, so it survives. Lead the Stampede, so we're going to Mystic first, and then we can lead the Stampede. For 4 creatures isn't bad. We'll pass. They're going to attack with the Epicure, and we'll take 1. And they grab the prize with an Alms of the Vein. We get another Quirion Ranger. So I believe we're supposed to just drop a bunch of our 1-drops because they are free with the Priest, but then with the Quirion Rangers, they're actually going to tap for more. So now this taps for 5. And we're going to drop a Timberwatch Elf. And I'm going to save the V2 Ghazi because I want to be able to gain the life off of it. So we're just going to untap this Priest, play this Forest, and then lead the Stampede. We get a Lotleth Giant. Do I even want that? In our hand with no black mana. No, I don't. So I'll just take the Timberwatch Elf. That's pretty annoying, to be honest. But now I can play a Timberwatch Elf, and I can play a V2 Ghazi Inspector with Evidence. Gain 2 life, put a +++ counter on target creature. Okay. We're going to go on itself because it has Reach, which makes it so that it can block and eat a Kitchen Imp, and then also it doesn't die to a Lightning Bolt. Whereas if we put it on anything else, it still just dies to a Lightning Bolt, so... If they can't kill our 2 Timberwatches here, I think we have a good shot, because we can pretty much just attack for lethal next turn. Do have a Fiery Temper, but a Kitchen Imp, so they don't have another Bolt for one of these. Again, we might be okay. There's the Imp, and the Temper. There's the Mountain and the Lightning Bolt. Always lucky. Maybe they don't know this has Reach. They do. Always lucky, it seems. Guess we'll attack with this Inspector, and play a Forest and pass. Grab the prize with the Snacker. A Blood Token with a Kitchen Imp. Swing with the Kitchen Imps. We're going to untap the V2 Ghazi. They've fallen into my trap. Or maybe they just want to push the 2 damage. And we're going to block the Epicure too. Sagu Wildling's not bad. It allows us to tap for a life gain guy that also gains us life. Life gain guy that gains us life? A flyer that gains us life. And then I can attack for a bunch here and just pass. Should have maybe untapped the Priest and attacked for 1 more damage, but oh well. Faithless Looting. They bin a Jagged Barrens and a Snacker. Then they Vampire's Kiss. No attacks. Nyxborn Hydra's pretty good. So we can make that 15 plus. That should be lethal. Untap. Play this again. Untap. 19. Put on this Fyndhorn Elves. So it's an 18-18, which is lethal right there, and then we attack with these, and we'll get there. I mean, our guys held them off a little bit. I don't think that was crazy lucky or anything. It was a good top deck, but we top decked some poor cards for the last couple turns. Well, this was a good top deck too, but I think it was fine. We'll see how the last one goes. This is 1 land and it's a swamp. We can't keep this. It's not amazing even if we had green, but like if they kill the Elves right away, we are in a bad spot, but we certainly can't keep it now. This one has 2 lands with the Generous Ent, or 3 with the Wildling. We're going to keep it. It's not amazing either. I think we're going to try keeping the Spy and getting rid of the Timberwatch Elf. This hand just leans a little more Spy. We have 3 of our 5 lands already. Well, I didn't really want a second Spy, but I guess that's fine. I guess that's technically a 4th land, because it can get rid of one of them. Bellbomb is pretty annoying that we're leaning towards the Spy this game, I will admit. And there's our 5th land. I guess we'll just play a Mystic and pass. They are going to pass back to us. Well, I guess we're going to do Spy Beatdown instead. Quirion Ranger. I mean, I literally think, like, we have 2 lands left. So there's no, I don't really want to mill us, but I don't really want to mill them, because if they had a snack or anything, no reason to play these guys really. Yeah, we're just going to play a spy. I guess if I mill us, I could force him to use the spell bomb, but like if I mill the giant or the dread return, then like our graveyard's suddenly irrelevant. I'm just going to mill them a couple. We get another spell bomb. Amazing. We're going to try to save this wildling, I think, to just cast, because I think we are just doing like bad flying beats. Then again, they kill our spy and immediately crack the spell bomb, which means they probably just have a bad hand, which kind of makes sense. They haven't burned us at all, except for their barons, so maybe we can still go for the spy now. They robbery. Discard a kitchen imp. So I guess I need one more land. We get like a land grant off the top. I just drew the swamp. But actually we need one more creature, right? Because I play the swamp, then I wildling, or roost seek. Yeah, so it's not quite right. So instead, wait, but we have a ranger. That doesn't change the math. It gives us one more. Wait, it does. It does change the math. Because we have equal mana, but we have an extra creature, right? Because now we can roost seek, pull out our last land, ranger untap the mystic, can do 4 for the spy, and we can hit ourselves with it. And they only have a black mana. Then we can dread return. Oh, hey, look at that. All right, this is enormous. And then I can dread return on our giant by sacking our 3 creatures. Oh, look at that. I guess we'll ping them for $1 million. All right. Well, it was kind of cool that we finally got to combo at the very end, seeing as the entire match, it felt like we were just playing elves with a couple dead cards that we continuously were drawing. So it was cool that we were actually able to use those cards in the end and get there when it looked like we might not be able to with their spell bomb and whatnot. I will say it played similarly to what I thought it was going to be. A lot of elves and a little bit of combo. Certainly not my favorite style of deck still. Definitely a little boring when you kind of just get your board wiped or whatever. But I do think there's something here, but I think the mana is really awkward. The fact that you have Dread Return, I know you don't want to hard cast it, but you can't really hard cast it unless I've gotten an Elves of Deep Shadow. There's no way to do that with the lands in the main deck. And there's no way to discard the Dread Return or the Giant if they get in your hand. I think that I probably will mess around with it a little bit, because I already have some ideas on cards that I'd want to include to be able to make it so you can discard those cards. So thank you again to Teasdale for the list. I believe he has a video playing the deck as well, so I'll link that in the description. But I will say, don't get used to me playing combo, because it's probably not going to be happening that often. Thank you so much to my patrons who support my content, including my $10 patrons Howard Granger, FaZe, Styx, Laars, and JMW. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.